I was at that point, I was insanely interested in how do we actually learn. Because I had a lot of experience in not learning it. So I really knew how to not learn. So I went out and I started to read books about the brain. I started to read all sorts of books about studying techniques and tools, and methods. And I learned all sorts of mind mapping techniques and speed reading techniques. And I took a big risk, basically. I created my own trainee program. I took out all of my money and I went to the United States and I traveled around for a year, visiting all sorts of professionals in all areas of the fields of communication and learning and teaching. And I went to brain researchers, and I went to all sorts of experts in the field of learning. And I also, of course, I went to see these high performance, inspirational, motivational speakers who stand with their feet wide on the floor, and they are tall and they got big white teeth, and they, and they say, "You can change your life right now. Take action right now." So I went around in Sweden, and I went, my first couple of years, I started to teach, and I went to schools. And I went to businesses also, and talking about learning, and learning and teaching. And I was traveling around and teaching mind mapping techniques and learning strategies and And people got to do mind mapping with both hands because it's good for both of your brain halves. And then I grew up, basically, and I realized that out in work life, the issue that people don't know enough is that's very rare. That's a very rare situation, that people actually don't know enough to do a good job, to have fun, to earn money, to produce results. So what I realized was that most people, what's needed out in our work life is not more knowledge, it's the inspiration to go out and do what you know will create result, instead of doing what you think you need to do before you do what you know. All right? Because that's very inefficient. So I've spent now 13 years of traveling around, mostly in Sweden, but also the other parts of Europe, and basically reminding people what they already know. It's a great business idea, don't you think? And an interesting thing is that the more I work, the more I educate myself. I, of course, am addicted to taking training, so I keep learning about this field that I'm in all the time. And the more I learn, the more I work, the more true it becomes for me that you and I, we know so much about what creates results in our lives, what we need in life, and what's fun in life. But we tend to not always do what we know. And that is basically what I'm here to talk to you about, is to remind you all about what you already know, and to inspire you to go out and do it, so that you don't end up being like an old mammoth